Imagine a civilization so powerful that its monuments still stand after more than 4,500 years. A civilization that built giant pyramids without modern machines, ruled by kings who were treated like gods. This is the story of ancient Egypt, the land of pharaohs, pyramids, temples, mummies, and incredible power. But ancient Egypt was not just about mystery. It was a highly organized civilization built on engineering and royal authority. Today, we will understand how it began, how pharaohs ruled, why pyramids were built, and why it finally declined. This is Ancient Egypt Explained: Pharaohs, Pyramids, and Power. To understand ancient Egypt, we must first understand the Nile River. Egypt is mostly desert. Without the Nile, ancient Egypt would not have existed. The Nile River is about 6,650 kilometers long. Every year it flooded its banks and left behind rich black soil. This soil was perfect for farming. Egyptians called their land Kemet, meaning the Black Land. The dry desert was called the Red Land. The Nile provided water, fertile soil, and worked like a natural highway for moving goods, stones, and people. It made Egypt rich. Ancient Egypt began around 3100 BCE, when two regions, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, were united under one ruler. According to tradition, this ruler was King Narmer, also known as Menes. He is believed to have created the first united Egyptian kingdom. Once united, Egypt developed a strong government, writing, organized farming, and royal power. History is divided into three major periods. The Old Kingdom, known as the Age of Pyramid Building. The Middle Kingdom, from around 2055 to 1650 BCE, known for stability, literature, and expansion. And the New Kingdom, Egypt's golden age of empire, wealth, and powerful pharaohs. For nearly 3,000 years, Egypt remained advanced. At the center of power stood the pharaoh. The pharaoh was not just a king. He was considered a living god on earth. Egyptians believed the pharaoh was connected to the gods, especially Horus, the sky god. After death, he joined Osiris. This gave the pharaoh enormous power. His word was law. He controlled land, taxes, armies, and foreign policy. But the pharaoh had one sacred duty: to maintain Ma'at. Ma'at meant truth, balance, justice, and order. If the pharaoh maintained Ma'at, the Nile would flood properly and Egypt would prosper. Chaos meant the pharaoh failed. When people think of Egypt, they think of pyramids. The most famous are the pyramids of Giza, built during the Old Kingdom. The Great Pyramid was built for Pharaoh Khufu. It remained the tallest man-made structure in the world for 3,800 years. It contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 2.5 tons. Its alignment with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, is incredibly accurate. The pyramids were not built by slaves. Modern archaeology suggests pyramid workers were skilled laborers and farmers. They were fed, housed, and managed by the state. During the Nile flood season, workers joined state construction projects. They used simple tools like copper tools, stone hammers, and wooden sledges with brilliant organization. No cranes needed. Research suggests that workers may have poured water on sand to reduce friction while dragging heavy stones. Society was highly organized. At the top was the pharaoh. Below him were officials, nobles, priests, and military leaders. Then came scribes. Scribes were extremely important because they recorded taxes, harvests, laws, and royal orders. At the bottom were farmers and laborers, the majority of the population. They grew food and paid taxes in grain. Ancient Egypt developed hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics use symbols to represent sounds, words, and ideas. The Rosetta Stone helped scholars understand Egyptian writing because it contained the same text in 3 different scripts. Egyptians believed the soul needed the body in the afterlife, so they developed methods to preserve the dead. In the afterlife, the heart was weighed against the feather of Ma'at. If the heart was pure, the person could enter eternity. Hatshepsut was one of the few women to rule as pharaoh. She proved power was about trade, image, and stability. Akhenaten tried to change religion by focusing on one god, Aten. He challenged the old system of power. Tutankhamun, the boy king, became world famous after his intact tomb was discovered in 1922. Ramesses the Great understood that power is also about how you are remembered. He filled Egypt with his image. Most Egyptians lived simple lives. Their lives followed the rhythm of the Nile's 3 main seasons. Women in ancient Egypt had more rights than in many other societies, owning property and running businesses. Egyptian art had a purpose. It preserved order, honored gods, and glorified the pharaoh for eternity. Ancient Egypt declined over centuries due to political weakness, economic pressure, and foreign invasions. Yet the legacy of Egypt, architecture, medicine, and mathematics, continues to fascinate the world today. Ancient Egypt, the civilization that turned desert into empire, kings into gods, and stone into eternity.